Dan, are you ready for this adventure?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Right.
Let's do it.
North Manitou Island is a magical place.
This place was awesome. Highly recommended.
Well, if you're looking for something that is super remote and a lot to explore, it's definitely a fun island.
I highly recommend it for everybody to come out here for at least one trip.
I would not make the mistake on cutting it short.
Lots of fishing in the lake.
Bring a fishing pole. We did slay some fish.
Oh yeah.
And I would have a good time. I'd be out here for 5 days minimum.
Yeah.
There's something about being on an island surrounded by water you can't capture in a lot of places.
Fun people. Got to hang out with the Jason Wish. If you're not subscribed, you need to subscribe to his channel. I subscribed to his channel like 3 years ago. Been watching this guy forever. Finally got to hike with him 2 times this year. It was a lot of fun.
This is Chad's place. Fixing up an old farmhouse. It's pretty nice. Down here's the camper that Dan and I stayed in last night. Come on.
Well, hopefully the weather will straighten out. I'm trying to have fun for that.
That just looks like mass chaos. All these people handling your pack.
It's just my gun that I take in the woods, and it's usually right here.
I would highly suggest to not put your pack in the back of the boat with everybody else, or you will be waiting in a massive line for your pack just like that. So if you're fortunate enough to have room under your seat like I did, and Mr. Dan Becker here, and Chandler, we got our packs and quickly made our way off the boat. No line, no wait.
North Manitou Island is being managed by the National Park Service as a wilderness area.
I'm sunburned.
Hey-o.
So how do you manage to own a private restaurant?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Jason, thanks for joining me. We just stepped foot off the ferry onto North Manitou Island. I am joined with good friend Dan Becker. How's it going, Dan?
What's going on?
And 3 other special guests who actually invited Dan and I to North Manitou Island for our 2-night, 3-day trip. Here in front of me we have Paul, the owner of UGQ.
Howdy.
And Chad, the production manager slash logistic manager slash sales manager, right?
Sure.
Close enough, right? And his good buddy, Chandler,
What's going on?
Mr. Highway State Patrol, is going to keep everything in order on the island today.
Something like that.
Thanks for coming along, guys. It's going to be an awesome adventure. Getting our first view of Lake Michigan from the island. Yeah, let's go down here and check out the water. So you can see the ranger station right down there, and that's where the ferry dock was, where we disembarked and started our journey. Beautiful. Paul's ready for the heat.
Rain or shine?
Rain or shine. This is how a semi-pro works right here, guys.
That's right. That's about it.
With it. And that is one.
Surprise in now. With the trick.
This is just absolutely gorgeous. The view is fantastic, so is the breeze. No mosquitoes, no black flies, no shore flies or sand flies, whatever you call them. It is a little hot today. but this lake breeze really helps. Wow, this place is beautiful. I feel like I'm walking along Pictured Rocks Lakeshore, along 12 Mile Beach or Lighthouse Beach. Same beautiful blue water, sandy shoreline with the pebbles and stones. Just fantastic. Here's what it looks like off the shoreline. Got some small sandy bluffs here and beautiful forest just a couple hundred feet away. Well, it looks like we may have found a camp for tonight. Paul from UGQ remembers a spot around this area from 3 or 4 years ago when he was here, and that's what we've been looking for. So we've been walking along the lakeshore for the last half mile looking for a specific tree that leaned 45 degrees out over the sand, and that was where the spot that he liked was 4 years ago. So he thinks he found it. Let's step in the woods here and take a look and see if this is the place. But you can see right here is the lake. We're probably 200 foot off the shoreline right here. Another 100 foot in the woods. This gives us our 300 foot minimum. And I'm liking what I see so far. Lots of nice large trees for hanging hammocks. All right, just about have my Dream Hammock Raven all set up with the Hammock Gear Cuban fiber tarp. And those of you who follow me closely hammock camping notice that I am not rocking my double Costco quilt today. I am sporting a subscriber's Hammock Gear Econ 40 Phoenix. Andy Bullock sent me his Hammock Gear 40 degree Econ Phoenix to try out on this trip. Thank you, Andy, I appreciate it. It's going to be the perfect temperature rating for tonight because tonight's low is about 65. So it should stay plenty warm in the Phoenix. Let's go over here and take a look at what Mr. Dan Becker's setting up.
Big Agnes Tiger Wall UL2.
Okay. And you've used this on several trips so far, right?
Yep, this is probably my 5th trip with it maybe.
Nice.
Yep. It's awesome.
And since it's so warm tonight, I just have one Costco quilt for inside the hammock. And I use the cocoon pillow with just a little bit of air in it. Don't need much in a hammock. I really like this pillow. So that's the setup tonight, guys. It's gonna be a warm one. And that's why I am heading out to go swimming in Lake Michigan. Well, I just finished up with a nice, cool, refreshing swim out in Lake Michigan. And I forgot to take my camera out there, so maybe I'll get it tomorrow. But we're getting ready to cook some dinner here. We've just been out enjoying the beach and relaxing a little bit. So I think tonight on the menu is just going to be good old reliable beef stroganoff. Just doing some laundry. I'm swimming in my socks and they're all sandy. The breeze is really picking up and pretty overcast over the woods. Makes me think that there's a storm brewing up tonight. I think there is a 40% chance of storms throughout the night. The BioLite. Then you put a little Esbit cube in there. Oh, you get some pellets in there.
I got, yeah, Chad only brought a few. I had a whole lot. I usually run pellets on it, and it burns for hours.
16 pounds of salmon in my pack.
It burns for hours if you run pellets.
Boy, dude, that fire's
Those
going
pellets are killer, though.
That is awesome. And we have fresh Lake Michigan salmon going on the grill here shortly.
What's that? That was Jason. Yeah. Oh,
that looks amazing.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Where's the salmon? What's happening to the salmon?
It's cooking too fast.
We forgot a spatula.
Holy smoke.
No pun intended.
Ready?
Yeah, this is smoked salmon. Just roll it on.
Flip it. Woo! Yeah, just keep in mind, some of this will have like little bones in it. They're not an issue. You should be able to just be careful.
Are you serious?
Don't go nuts on it.
Goodness.
See, we're UGQ, not in White Equipment.
Throw that one
There
over.
it is. This salmon
Yeah, thanks for your contribution.
is
Really,
absolutely amazing.
Something to talk about. It's over. You'll never know. You'll never understand how good it is.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, will you quit?
Me?
I need to know.
Very smoky. It almost has the salty, smoky flavor of smoked salmon that you'd buy, but it's succulent and juicy at the same time.
And we're out here on an island.
Doesn't get any better than this, guys. Salmon on an island next to beautiful Lake Michigan. Well, by the sound of things, I'm sure you can figure out what I'm doing right now. We're trying to wait out this rainstorm. Just sitting in here under the hammock gear tarp, listening to the pitter-patter of the rain. Got a much bigger day tomorrow, heading through the island to Manitou Lake, I believe, to do some fishing. So, looking forward to that. It's hard to believe it's this light out on North Manitou Island at 10 p.m. The rain has quit. We all have emerged from our tents and hammocks. Well, except Paul. Paul was sound asleep, snoring. Oh boy. We left our chairs for 5 minutes and they flipped into the water. Gosh. Oh boy, Chandler's not gonna like that. Well, there's a view of Lake Michigan at 10 p.m. Yeah, I have my lighting turned up just a little bit, but that is almost exactly how it looks. All the chairs flipped over.
They did. Huh?
This one, his was out in the water.
Yeah, I knew it.
Where's yours? Oh, you were the smart one.
I put it on auto. I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to set it.
And that water really sneaks up and it makes you feel like it's just going to come right up to your feet.
All right, it's starting to rain again. We decided to leave the beach and heading in to hit the sack, I think. Sweet dreams, Dan Becker.
Good night, buddy.
Alrighty, that's gonna do it for day one on North Manitou Island. Time to get some shut-eye. I'll see you guys in the morning. Good morning. I just enjoyed a beautiful sunrise out here on the Lakeshore. It was absolutely stunning. And the sun is kind of dipped into the clouds a little bit now, as you can see. How someone could not appreciate God's handiwork, I'll never understand. Just simply amazing. All right, I already have my first cup of coffee. Heading back into the woods here to get the oatmeal going and start the pack up process. All right, for breakfast today, got some oatmeal and a little baggie of dried fruit. We got bananas, blueberries, and raisins going in the oatmeal. Give it a little stir, lock her up, and let her rehydrate. There we go. Looks good to go. Perfect. All right. As soon as I finish this oatmeal, wait for the other guys to finish up their breakfast and finish breaking down, and we're hitting the trail. Here's the problem, though. Mr. Dan Becker is going to be holding everybody up today. We've been up for over an hour, and I just now finally heard him roll around in there. Come on, Dan. It's Michigan time, not Wisconsin time. Let's get moving. I take that back. The oatmeal is not completely perfect because there's a slight aroma of salmon in my Mountain House bag, which is what I had my salmon in last night. It's tolerable, but it smells like I'm eating fish with my oatmeal, and that's not the best combination. Somehow we got to get Dan to stir, so I'm going to head over here and see if Bigfoot can get him to stir. Not even Bigfoot could wake up Dan. Back on the lake shore again. I got broke down early today. Everybody else is still hanging around camp, breaking down and finishing up their breakfast and coffee. And I decided to head on out solo down to the sandpiper nesting grounds at the very bottom southwest tip of the island. Sorry, southeast. And I'm just going to meet up with the other guys here in about an hour or two near the cemetery or one of the old homesteads down on the southern side of the island along the trail. It's shaping up to be a beautiful day. I don't mind it being overcast because it is going to be low 80s, I believe. But we have a nice breeze today, and that will definitely help with the heat and humidity. I'm excited to see everything on this island today. Check out this awesome black sand. Uh-oh, I'm running out of beach to walk on, it looks like. The water is very calm over here. We're almost to the point. Another quarter mile maybe. We'll go around the point down here. And a slight change of plans. We camped right over in there. And the other fellows have decided to go ahead and make their way straight to Manitou Lake. They probably want to do some fishing. So I'm going to be hiking solo for a majority of the day. But I want to see a lot of this island. So I'm taking the long way around and hopefully meet up with them later on this afternoon and do some fishing myself. The darn shore flies or sand flies, whatever you call them, they are out now. They're not really biting me a whole lot yet, but they're starting to swarm. Probably because it's hot and sunny right here on the beach. So hopefully they don't start biting, or it's going to be pictured rocks all over again. Here's what they look like. Look at those things. I don't know if you can see those. I got like 8 on my sock right now. Ouch! Yeah, they're getting pretty bad. I got to keep moving. Well, this is where it looks like my journey to the point ends. Here's the closed area of the piping plover nesting area. There's another sign up there, area closed. So I guess I'm making my way into the woods now. I'm hoping there's a trail up here. I don't feel like bushwhacking, and I don't want to go back a mile from where I came from. So into the woods we go. All right, I'm up here at the top, and unfortunately, impenetrable bush up ahead. So I'm not going that way. We'll head back up here and hopefully there's a trail to the left into the woods. Oh well, it's not that big of a deal. I have all day to get where I'm going. Finally back on the main trail and away from those wretched shore flies. Man, they were getting bad. So I'm glad to be back in the forest away from them. Looks like we have an old cemetery up ahead here. Let's go check it out. Look at all those names. Late 1800s, early 1900s. It's kind of interesting. Little concrete crosses. Died in 1938. All right, heading off to Swenson's next. 5.7 miles. Now this is my kind of hiking. A nice, well-groomed, smooth trail in the middle of the woods. We're gonna knock out some mileage today and pick up the pace. See the rest of this island. All right, I'm over here on the west side of the island, and quite a different feel. Wait till you see this. I feel like I'm on Barbados or something. Wow, that is stunning. You could practically surf those waves. That is amazing. And I don't know if that's South Manitou Island over there. I think so. These 4 kids over here having a ball playing on the sand dunes. They're spending 8 days here with their family, I think they said. Awesome. Man, this is just spectacular. The breeze feels so amazing. The other 4 guys sure missed out on this. Stunning. Man, I'm telling you what, I didn't want to leave that spot. That was so refreshing out there, looking at those waves, hearing the waves, and the breeze was just phenomenal. I would have loved to stay and camp out there. But we're back in the woods. Still can hear the water. We're not far from it. Probably gonna be hugging the coastline, maybe 100 yards in for the next few miles. Let's get moving. All right, I just came out of the woods and I'm on some sandy trails again, making my way out here to the Crescent Dock area, is what it's called. And it's supposed to be spectacular sunsets out here. And this was one of the places I would have loved to camp at. But at least we're here to take a quick look at it and maybe get some water. If it's not 100 feet down to the water, I may get some because I'm running really low. But let's get up here and take a look at this. Very difficult walking. Kind of reminds me of Saugatuck Dunes and Warren Dunes. Oh yeah. Nice. Pretty easy to get down to the water too. Oh my goodness. Other than the sand, I feel like I'm in the Caribbean. Lake Michigan, Lake Superior just blow my mind. Wow. The one problem I have right now though is I'm out of water and I gotta go out there and get some water. So I think I'll take the shoes and socks off and wade out there and fill my bottles up. So I was unable to get out far enough to get clean water, and I was sitting here trying to figure out what to do, and these 3 young college-age fellas happened to come down and go swimming, and they took my bottle out and filled it up for me. So I'm good to go on water now, and I just got to get my shoes put back on and hit the trail. Well, I decided to stick around and have some lunch. Spicy Thai chili and some string cheese and a wrap. Now this will hold me over for an hour, I hope. I'm gonna put away the calories today. The heat really takes it out of me. So I'm walking through a large open orchard type area right now. The Lakeshore. It's about 200 or 300 yards just on the other side of those trees. But there are camping areas everywhere through here. Very popular spot. Lots of wildflowers on this part of the trail. I'm hoping we duck back in the woods here shortly because the darn shore flies have been landing all over me. I have never seen them attack you this far away from the lakeshore. I'm here at the Stormer camps, and this is where all the trash vehicles are. Let's go take a little stroll through here and check this out. An old deserted junkyard. Oh, I've seen this many times in others' videos. Wow. We got our first look at the swampy end of Lake Manitou. I don't believe this is actually Lake Manitou, this is just the swampy area. On the other side is Lake Manitou. Hopefully just another mile or so, and I'll be able to find Paul, Chad, and Dan, and Chandler. I guess we're at Benson's place now, which is right across the road from Fisk's Landing, which is where the guys are supposed to be. So about a half mile this way. Here it is, Lake Manitou. And boy, is it breezy. This is awesome. Well, I wonder where the guys are at. A lake within a lake. Actually, it's a lake within an island within a lake. Well, I have no idea where these guys could be. I see a trail going both directions around the lake, so I guess I'm just gonna have to pick one and hope it's the right one, and if it isn't, I'll backtrack and go the other direction. I don't know. But I'm getting hungry, so time for lunch. Peanut butter and jelly wrap. I'm kind of surprised they didn't leave me some kind of clue on which direction to go. Maybe an arrow made out of sticks or something, I don't know. What if they're not here? What if they decide to go back to the east side of Lake Michigan where it's calm? That could also be a possibility. But we'll exhaust the campsite options here first and rule this out, and then go to plan B if I can't find them. Well, I got lucky and I chose the right direction. 100 yards down the trail, look who I ran into. Dan Becker, all set up, cooking some lunch, early dinner, whatever you want to call it. And the other two fellas are out fishing. They're setting up down there, and Paul is already set up right back in there, tucked away in the pines. Probably snoring away already. All right, let's go find a couple hammock trees. How many smallies did you guys say you caught? 5. Well, I wasn't happy with my setup. The wind was blowing too hard off the lake, and I was over there about 50 yards, and I decided to come over here, kind of in this bowl. Still a little breezy, but it's better. It's a pretty nice sight. Right up on top of the hill behind me is Dan, and right there is Paul. Everything's good to go except the under quilt. You can see how the tarp is blowing around. It's pretty breezy. Real close to 20 mile an hour, 15 to 20 mile an hour. But I really like the site. All right, I'm up here visiting Chad and Chandler's camp. It is pretty sweet. Down the lakeshore, a couple hundred yards from the others. Chad, you want to tell me a little bit about what setup you got, what hammock and tarp you got there?
Okay, so this is a 12-foot 15D sill poly hanger tarp. So total weight on this one is 14 ounces, I believe.
Okay.
Panel poles, double split ring guy outs on all 4 corners. And then the hammock I'm in is a single layer Darien by Dream Hammock.
Which looks really similar to my Raven, except the
Does
net.
yours unzip on both sides?
Yes.
Yes, that's the difference. This is only,
And it's removable.
this is only one
Right,
side.
right. So it's set up for a right lay right now, or no, a left lay?
Left lay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what tent do you got down here, Chandler?
I got a nature hike tent. I don't know too much about it. I think it's pretty much a copy of Big Agnes. So
Okay.
it is what it is there, but I got...
1/10 the price.
Yeah, you can get this thing for a lot cheaper. Not that I hate Big Agnes, but then I got my UGQ in here. Blanket, I call it a blanket because it's so hot, but
Which one is this?
this is 850 down, and I think I want to say it's 55.78.
It's a Bandit top coat.
The Bandit,
Yeah,
okay.
Myself.
It's a pretty sweet looking tent. It's just a single layer tent.
Yeah.
Single layer.
What's the price of this tent come out to?
It was like $80.
Wow. Yeah, that's
I
a
mean,
pretty
to
good
get
price.
started and find out what you like, because at the end
Heck
of the day,
yeah.
you're always going to look at something and you're going to see something you don't like, so then you can make changes.
Mm-hmm.
But
How sweet is it up here?
This is nice.
That's so
This is nice, and this is also pretty cool. I didn't talk about this last night, but this BioLite also has a USB port right here, and you can charge your cell phone or whatever from that, and it produces energy from the fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. So you can see here we're charging some cell phones.
Gotta get back in the water quick.
We're gonna have a fish fry tonight, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's
Smallmouth.
a nice one.
At least
Probably a
2 pounds.
2 pounds, 15 inches.
Yeah, probably close to
Nicely
16.
done.
smacked them. Collapsible pole from Blaine's.
Check out my link in the description below.
There's something out there on the middle of the lake too.
Well, the sun is set here on day 2, and the fishing was really, really good today. Chandler and Chad caught over 25 smallmouth bass. I caught 1, but I didn't have my Crocs on, so it was very uncomfortable walking out in the water. My feet were starting to get tore up, so I was only out there for about a half hour, but it was fun nonetheless. But right now we are making our way to Chad and Chandler's campsite, where they have a whole slew of different dessert choices cooked on their BioLite stove. Let's go check it out. Cannot believe there's that much light out there at 9:45. Looky what we have here, guys. We got a fire.
Mosquitoes or some type of insects or frogs or something.
this is sufficient for a fire.
Yeah, this is better than no fire for sure. This is perfect.
Well, good morning. Day 3 here on Manitou Lake. It is very, very calm today. Looks like I'm a little overexposed. Man, the wind finally died down last night, right before dark, and it was just like the water was just like glass out here. And believe it or not, no mosquitoes. I mean, very, very few. No flies. I mean, I'm out here today in shorts and t-shirt, right on the water, and there's no bugs. And this is the first time in my life that I've been in Michigan and not had mosquito and fly problems. So the plan today is to just hang around camp and relax, eat some breakfast, do some more fishing, and about 11 o'clock we're going to head to the ferry dock to make sure we're there in time for our 12:40 departure. We only got like 3 miles, so as long as we give ourselves a good hour and a half, we should be there in plenty of time. I kind of wish there was something else to see around here. I'm not one for sitting around for hours and hours and hours. I like to pack up and get moving and go see something. But you know, we have like 3.5 hours before we have to leave, and I considered going to see the potholes, which is back out to the main trail, past Johnson's place, I think it is, where all the trash cars were, and then might be a couple miles to the potholes. I might be pushing it on time if I try to do that, but I do enjoy relaxing for a while, but I can't do it all day or even half a day. I like to get moving. So that's one option. Otherwise, we're just gonna have to wait it out, maybe do some more fishing to pass the time. Just relaxing around camp, eating some breakfast. Decided to keep it simple today. I got my Packet Gourmet berry. Mango kale is still my favorite, but berry's not bad. And then, in addition to that, just a Cliff Bar. Everybody's starting to move about here. Up there on top of the hill, Dan's breaking down. And I haven't heard Paul stirring yet. He's back there in his hammock. So right here is the ferry dock where we started. And then on day one, we traveled out down this trail along the beach, and we camped about right here at this 2-mile marker. Day two, the other guys backtracked to here, almost all the way back to the, yeah, they did all the way back to the ferry dock, and then went this way up to Lake Manitou. I continued all the way down the beach near the nesting grounds, and then made my way back to the cemetery area. And I took this 2-mile trail through the woods out to the west coast and went out at Frederickson's place. And that was amazing. And then on up to Crescent Dock. Crescent Dock was amazing. So those were 2 stops I'm glad I made. And then on up through the woods, a little bit of elevation, maybe about 350 feet of elevation change, not much at all. And right here at Stormer Camp is where all the trash junk cars were. And then I made my way down to Fisk's place to enter into Manitou Lake area, where I met up with everybody else. All right, I'm here with Paul, the owner and founder of UGQ, and he's going to give us a quick rundown on his hammock and quilt setup.
Hi everybody, I'm Paul with UGQ Outdoor, and we are here on North Manitou Island having a good time. And we thought it would be a good idea to show you my setup. I am a dedicated hammock camper for about the last 10 years. Have slept on the ground a few times, but we're fortunate here in Michigan that we got lots of trees. And most of the places I go out west, we got lots of trees, so I do prefer the hammock. So with a hammock, like any sleep system, you've got to have rain protection, your bed, and insulation. So the first line of defense here on the rain protection is a tarp. I'm using a Hanger 12. It's one of our Hex tarps. This is in a pattern called Prime 1 Ambush, so it blends into the woods here really well in Michigan. This is a Sil Poly tarp, so it's low stretch, low water absorption, and a really nice tarp. It's what most of the tarp manufacturers are now using, is the polyester fabric. So for my hammock, I'm using a Dream Hammock Danger Bird. It's a net only, so it's just got the net. They have an option for over covers and different features there. And this is a single layer 1-ounce fabric. So this whole hammock, not count the underquilt or top quilt, but the whole hammock, including the suspension, the whoopee slings, the tree straps, comes in right around 16 ounces. The tarp also comes in right around 16 ounces with all the stakes and guy lines and ridge line. So I've got 2 pounds into my shelter and my bed. And then for an underquilt, I have a Zeppelin here. This again is using a Prime 1 fabric. This is woodland, so again it blends in really nice here into the woods of Michigan. This is a 20 degree for the weather that we're in. That's a little bit of an overkill, but it's what I had handy. And for a top quilt, I have a 30 degree Bandit, which again, for this weather that we've been in, I think we had our nights were probably mid 60s, so definitely overkill. But you never know in northern Michigan what you're going to run into. I've had 30 degree weather in July, so that's a 30 degree top quilt, and certainly kept me nice and snug. But that's what I carry in my pack when I'm out in the woods most of the time, and certainly keeps me comfortable and warm.
Well, Paul, I appreciate you showing us your hammock and tarp setup and your quilts.
Oh, yeah.
Very interesting and very impressive.
Absolutely not a problem.
We are back on the trail. We just left camp a few moments ago, and today we have about a 4-mile hike out to the east side of Lake Michigan. We're going to walk the Lakeshore back to the ferry. To make our way back out to the main trail at Benson's place, and we're going to head up all the way out to this John Molesky on the coastline, and hug the coastline all the way back down to the ferry dock in the village area. Chandler and Chad had not even woken up yet. I think we actually woke them up when we went up to let them know the plan for this morning.
Got a notification from the ferry. They're leaving 2 hours earlier, so
they're going to take the short way back to the ferry, and meet up with us around noon. So that's the plan. Let's go check out a new section of trail. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Flip it 180, it'll look like a different spider web.
Hey Paul, I never did ask you, how did you come up with the name Underground Quilt Outdoors?
I started the business in a studio apartment that was a garden view, halfway underground.
Ah.
So then we moved to a one-bedroom apartment that was halfway underground. And then we moved into the basement of a duplex with the business. We lived upstairs, but it was underground. So a lot of people were abbreviating the company online to UGQ, so we became UGQ Outdoor.
Check out these snakes sunning themselves on this little wooden dock. It's a pretty swamp. Doesn't smell very pretty though.
Can be miserable. Yeah, I much prefer the shady forest. Yeah, for sure.
Interesting looking plant here.
Yeah, mini ferns.
Well, we are making our way down off the ridge, and we obviously got a signal because my cell phone's blowing up. But you can see some of the elevation we have here. Not a whole lot here on this island, but I can hear the Lake Michigan shoreline up ahead. We'll be there in a few minutes. All right, we're getting our first look of Lake Michigan here on day 3. And it looks lovely. We considered walking the beach back to the ferry. We got about a half mile to 3/4 of a mile, but I think up ahead around this turn, the beach is going to get very minimal. So we're gonna try going a little further down and try getting on the beach at a different spot. Looks like we have arrived back to the village and the ranger station area. And there is Chad and Chandler. Perfect timing. Heading back to Leland. Here we go. Goodbye, North Manitou Island. Back to the mainland. Well, some of my final thoughts on North Manitou Island. I had a great time. Like some of the other guys said, great company, and definitely would like to spend a few more days here to do some more fishing. Still some places I missed on the island that I'd like to go back and see someday. The only negative thing I have to say about North Manitou Island was I prefer to have creeks, streams, or rivers throughout the island for more easy access to get water. You either have to be staying next to the Manitou Lake or on the lakeshore near Lake Michigan. So other than that though, it was a stellar place and would highly recommend it. We are about halfway back to Leland. And if you look over this way, I believe that is Sleeping Bear Dunes. All right, we have arrived back in Leland. This concludes our trip to North Manitou Island. Guys, thanks for coming along, and a special thanks to Paul and Chad from UGQ and their buddy Chandler. Chandler, it was awesome meeting you. And of course, Dan Becker. Thanks for coming along, guys. I will put a link to Dan Becker's channel in the description so you can watch his version. Again, guys, thanks for joining me on this trip, and until next time, I'm Jason Wish, wishing you a great time on your next adventure.